Wrestling Real Talk. Rude Boy. A.T. Huck. Detroit in the house. Let's go. Step inside the ring where the legends were made. Independent warriors never looking for fame. Rude Boy swinging, Huck calling the shots. Two lifers of the business with the stories that rock. From the sheet breaking heat in the Motor City. Bobo Brazil dropped the hammer, never pretty. Jerry Lawler on the mic, Dusty Rhodes with the soul. Gino Hernandez with that shine and that gold. This is wrestling real talk, no gimmicks, no lies. Real stories from real champions through real lives. Old school, new school, every lane, every block. Detroit wrestling forever, wrestling real talk. From the territories down to today's indie scene. Blood, sweat stories, the things fans never see. Icons, outlaws, legends who never quit. If you lived it or you loved it, this song is for it. Rude Boy, A.T. Huck, independent legends, y'all already know. Wrestling real talk, where the truth hits hard. Let's go.
The legends were real. The stories were wilder. And now it's time to talk about it. This is Wrestling Real Talk. And now your hosts, A.T. Huck and Rude Boy.
Welcome once again to Wrestling Real Talk. This is a very special edition, that's right. We are coming to you live from the Conquest Carnival Cruise Line on our way to the beautiful Bahamas. Of course, I'm being joined by the number one co-host in the world, the one and only A.T. Huck. What's up, A.T.?
What's happening, Rude Boy? You know I'm loving this. We're on the ocean, beautiful ocean, blue skies, and it's an experience of a lifetime.
And it sure is. And you want to ask yourself, how does this have to do anything with Wrestling Real Talk? Well, guess what? This is the Caribbean edition of Wrestling Real Talk. That's right. We're going to be talking about all wrestling Caribbean related
memorabilia, whatever you want to call it, history. That's what you're talking about, history.
Let me tell you something. You may hear some noises, you may hear a little background, whatever, because we are live on a cruise. Yes, indeed we are. And you know what? We might have had a pina colada or two.
Or two or three.
Or 300. But anyways, we'd like to welcome you to this very special edition of Wrestling Real Talk. And of course, when you talk of Caribbean wrestlers and you talk of the history of Caribbean wrestling, you cannot go without mentioning the number one Caribbean wrestler of all time, Mr. Carlos Colon.
Carlos Colon, what a great history he has in Puerto Rico, his entire family. But one thing about Carlos Colon, he once wrestled in Detroit.
He did.
Several times at the Olympia for Dick the Bruiser, and he wrestled as Carlos Belafonte.
Carlos Belafonte in WWA, that's right, World Wrestling Association. Dick the Bruiser's promotion did take place at the Olympia in Detroit, of course, opposite of the Sheik at Cobo Arena.
Exactly.
But you know, when you talk of great Puerto Rican professional wrestlers, you mentioned, like you said, the Colons, and you've mentioned,
the Castillos.
The Castillos, and man,
Hercules Ayala.
Hercules Ayala, man, you cannot forget Savio Vega. TNT, Savio Vega, who had a nice run with Los Boricuas in the WWF.
WWF, but he had some major battles with Abdullah the Butcher, Carlos Colon, and so many mainland wrestlers worked in the Caribbean.
It's
Ric
true.
Flair, Terry Funk, Stan Hansen, Dory Funk Jr., and our favorite, the original Sheik.
Now, let me tell you something. You mentioned a name in that bunch of greats. You did. You mentioned the one and only Nature Boy, Ric Flair.
That's
and
right.
Ric Flair actually lost the title in the Caribbeans. Let's tell him about it.
He did. He dropped the title. He was afraid to leave. He was afraid that something would happen.
Right.
I wish I could remember the wrestler's name who he dropped it to. I'm going to have to look that up a little later to let you all know. But that was something that was undocumented by the NWA, that they didn't acknowledge it.
They didn't acknowledge it, but Ric Flair was so worried about getting from from the arena to the airport.
Getting out of the arena.
He was going to lose
leaving the ring.
He was literally going to lose his life if he didn't lose that belt.
That's right.
And he said, well, the belt's got to go.
Exactly. And a lot of wrestlers talk about wrestling in Puerto Rico and how dangerous it was.
Oh, yeah.
You know, getting from the ring back to the dressing room, they literally had to fight their way back to get to the dressing room.
One of the coolest things ever, Huck, was myself, Violent J, and Esham, great hip-hop artists. We all went and we had a vacation in Puerto Rico, and Sabu took us around to all the wrestling deals. And man, to see wrestling in Puerto Rico is like, wow, man.
I know
to
it
see
is.
guys walk around in the concourse area, we're talking about police with machine guns.
Machine guns. That's unbelievable.
What?
But they believe. They
Yes.
really believe.
Yes.
And of course, how can we not mention Bruiser Brody?
Oh, of course.
You know,
man.
the tragic thing that happened to Bruiser Brody in Puerto Rico.
Yes, it was tragic. Unfortunately, Bruiser Brody was one of those guys that would always mess with people, man. And you mess too much, you're gonna get cut.
Yeah, and he definitely did. From the liver to the quiver. You know, he's one of my
Unfortunately.
favorite wrestlers of all time. I remember when it was announced. I heard it on Coach Kurt's Wrestling.
Wow.
On the hotline.
976
for Coach Kurtz.
number.
Exactly. And immediately called up Frantic Frank and told him. I was like, oh my God, Bruiser Brody.
Right.
You know, but they had a whole lot of positivity also down there in the
Oh
Caribbean.
my God, man.
You
They
know,
made
so
money
many
hand over
so many
fist.
great wrestlers, and it lasted for a long time.
It sure did. It sure did. I was talking to Vampiro. Vampiro was down there working as well for the opposite promotion than Sabu was. Of course, Sabu was working for Carlos Colon, and Vampiro was working for the others, which was Savio Vega, by the way. And it was like night and day. But the problem is that Puerto Rico had already left wrestling. It wasn't the same.
Oh yeah, that was well after Bruiser Brody's
Right,
death.
they weren't drawing the thousands that they
Not
were.
like
They were
they
lucky
were.
to get a couple hundred.
Yeah, they probably weren't involved with the NWA anymore.
No more.
Well, the NWA was long gone at that point
Right.
when they went down there,
Right.
at least in the Caribbean.
Right.
You know, but yeah, I can imagine it was a lot different.
And WWE never really had no interest, other than something that a lot of people don't know, that Gorilla Monsoon actually owned
He was part owner.
with Carlos Colon.
Yeah, he was.
Of
He
the
was.
World
I just
Wrestling
watched some
Council.
footage of Gorilla Monsoon wrestling in Puerto Rico just the other day.
Wow.
So that was pretty cool to
Yeah.
see Gorilla Monsoon wrestle.
Yes, he actually owned half of World Wrestling Council, and which was the number one Caribbean wrestling ever.
And I think that was part of the problem with Bruiser Brody. He was trying to buy into the
He
promotion.
was, and they weren't interested.
They weren't interested.
Right.
You know, that was you don't mess around down there like that.
And if you talk about Bruiser Brody, you got to talk about Abdullah the Butcher,
Oh my God.
who turned it out
Oh
in
yeah,
Puerto Rico.
him and Carlos Colon, they had some devastating battles.
Yes.
But also saw Abdullah the Butcher wrestle Andre the Giant in Puerto Rico.
Uh-huh.
So it wasn't just, Carlos Colon that he worked with.
Oh no,
Randy Savage was the champion in Puerto Rico. Sweet Daddy Siki, and some people might know Pampero Firpo was the
Pampero
champion
Firpo, yes, sir.
there in Puerto Rico. So a lot of history.
Very, very, very important wrestlers from the stateside was down there and making a mark for themselves, including Dutch Mantell, who Dutch Mantell was the booker,
He was the booker.
for Carlos Colon for many years.
For a long time.
And
He talks about it a lot.
And he comes up with some great stories like, whoa,
Yeah,
man,
you know, it was my style of wrestling.
Absolutely.
Because I like brutal wrestling.
Yes.
I like the blood. I like the guts. I like the grit.
Yes.
And Puerto Rico always delivered on that.
They always delivered. Puerto Rico was always the spot that you knew you were going to get down. It was getting down. Man.
But you know what? Carlos Colon actually wrestled on the Starcade.
Yes, he did against
He did,
Abdullah the
against
Butcher.
Abdullah
Yes.
the Butcher. So
Yes, that
he
was
does
Starcade
have more history here in the United States than people might realize.
Absolutely. And when you talk about Starcades and all that, you know what? He started out with Abdullah the Butcher there, but then he also was featured at the WWE Royal Rumble many years
That's
later.
right. I
Like,
forgot
whoa.
about him being in the Royal Rumble.
Absolutely.
And of course, his son Carlito.
Carlito was
with
very successful.
spitting the apple at people.
Very successful,
man.
man.
Then he had 2 other sons, the Colognes,
He
that
did,
wrestled as a
yes.
tag team for the WWF.
Yep.
Yeah, Epico and Primo.
That's
they
right.
wrestled in the WWE.
That's right. Hey, once again, you guys, man, we're not just rolling by ourselves right here in the Caribbean. We're rolling with our producers, the #1 producers in all of podcasting, all of the fucking media, the one and only DJ Carlito Hill, and Bobby Rocks, better known to you as Bobby Lee. Anyways, these are our homies, man. They're rolling with us, and they often throw us out those
right. Some things
tidbits.
we can't quite remember. They'll hit us up with, oh, that's right.
That's right. That's right.
So we appreciate that from our producers.
And when you look back at the Caribbean style of wrestling, like you said, it was more brutal. It was no happy-go-lucky, cartoonish thing that WWE or WWF was offering at the time. So you knew it was going to be something crazy.
That's right. They had a lot of other mainstays there, like Chicky Star.
Oh, Chicky Star.
Chicky Star.
Yes.
He also wrestled, but he was a good manager down there. And Hugo
Saganovich.
Yes. And he was actually married to Wendy Richter.
What?
For a long time.
I never
He was
knew
married
that.
to Wendy Richter.
No way.
But he was a manager, and then he went on to broadcast, doing commentary down there.
Right.
And the Invaders, the Masked Invaders.
And one of the Masked Invaders was the one who killed Bruiser Brody.
Exactly.
Much smaller man, a very much smaller man.
Oh yeah, but sometimes those small dudes have they come with a a lot of grit, man. You don't want to mess with them. You don't want to underestimate somebody because of their size.
And we can debate this on and on. Did Bruiser Brody? No one deserves to die. No one deserves that.
No one.
However, you can only bully someone so much where they're like, enough's enough.
Right, and with us not being there, it's all hearsay.
It is all hearsay.
Tony Atlas knows the real deal. He was right there.
But he's contradicted his story a few times.
A few times.
I know that in history, as time goes by, people forget.
The story changes a little bit. But I think when he actually got ready to testify, it was after the fact.
They already sent out.
They didn't want him to come down there.
Of course not.
I'm sure the Puerto Rican officials were possibly in cahoots, and didn't want that type of publicity. They wanted to wipe it under the rug, so to speak.
Well, the thing is that, those guys were tied into.
Oh, it's wrestling real talk. Come on.
Those guys are tied into the law and all that stuff.
Exactly.
And the laws are different in Puerto Rico than you might think because we are the United States. No, they got their own rules over there.
Own rules. They definitely do.
And just like here at the Bahamas, man, where we're going, they have their own rules, man. They have their own set of rules. You can't wear fucking camouflage.
You can't wear camouflage. I guess you're military or Contra. I don't know. I'm just saying some stuff. But yeah, you cannot wear camouflage in the Bahamas.
That's crazy, but I'll tell you what you can wear is you can wear those sun bathing suits.
Oh, look at you, man. You got on your tie-dye.
I'm going to be laying on the beach tomorrow.
I can't wait. That nice white sand, that sunny sun. I can't wait, Rudy.
It's going to be awesome. We're so looking forward to it. Now, we do want to tell you that, of course, this is a very special edition of Wrestling Real Talk. You never see these two good-looking faces.
You don't get to see our faces most of the time. But one thing I need to comment on, Rudy, is the ship itself. We're in the middle of the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, and you cannot feel a thing move.
No.
I feel like I'm sitting at home right now.
It's true.
And you can see behind us the beautiful blue Atlantic Ocean, and I can't feel a thing.
And see, the thing is that, you get all of these, you get seasick. Those days are over,
Those
bro.
days are over.
Those
Unless you're on a rowboat, you don't need nothing. We don't feel a thing.
Hell no.
And I love
this
it.
Ain't Babalo, baby.
This ain't Babalo.
Y'all know about Babalo out there, of course, man. By the way, the late, great Bug used to run Babalo, and I used to work there on the boat, man. I was blessed, man.
That's right, man. But Puerto Rico, man, they used to run at those outdoor arenas.
Oh, bro,
Huge
baseball
stadiums,
arenas,
baseball
man.
arenas.
Yes.
And there was a long walk from the dressing room, the dugout,
Yes.
to the ring.
And with no seats or nothing.
No
just,
seats.
Wow.
Nothing on the
No.
field.
Oh, no.
Just the ring itself.
You couldn't get that close in Puerto
And that
Rico.
gave them the opportunity to just fight all over the place.
All over the place.
All over the place. I remember the one clip of the Sheik wrestling Carlos Colon, and it was a long walk, and the Sheik played it all the way.
Oh, I bet.
He worked it all the way to the ring. And then when Carlos Colon got in the ring, the Sheik just lit into him, just stabbing. And Carlos Colon got maybe a little offense before the fireball, boosh, right into his face.
That was it, man. That was it. The noble Sheik always knew how to get the
He
job done.
always knew how to get the job done.
Even in sunny Puerto Rico.
And then I bet the Sheik was not afraid.
Oh, no.
He got so much heat on Carlos Colon. If you YouTube that match, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. And every match that we talk about right here on Wrestling Real Talk, fans, we invite you to check these matches out and check these superstars out on YouTube. We don't just say this because we're blowing air up your ass. We're telling you this because this is wrestling history. And this is Wrestling Real Talk. And that's what we do. We talk real.
We talk real. We got it all for you. And like we always say, send us some comments. Ask us some questions. Because I guarantee if you know it, we know it. But we know more than you do, I bet.
Questions, comments, and or concerns, it's simple. You can do it right. Drop it in the box right here below us, right here. And we will be glad to sit down and dissect your question the way it needs to be done properly. By two guys that's been involved in wrestling for over 60 years.
That's right. But you know what? I want to touch on something else. Don't forget about January 17th
Oh,
at Taqueria El
Lord.
Rey, the big main event, the biggest main event in the area. That's Big Mama and Nyla Rose. They'll be throwing down for the women's championship.
That's going down in Detroit, Michigan on January 17th. You don't want to miss it. You do not want to miss. It's all about Detroit right here on this one. We own this boat.
Detroit.
That's what's up,
We
ladies,
got some people
ladies,
from Detroit
ladies.
walking by giving us a shout out. But we have some big other announcements coming about that show. We announced the tag team
We
match.
did.
The Den versus the Threat. And that's
Wait,
another main
that's
event.
the Legends versus soon-to-be Legends.
Soon to be Legends.
Now, this is a match you do not want to, because years later, Huck, you'll go and say, man, I remember when the Threat wrestled the Den.
The Den,
You
that's
know,
right.
and how crazy that was.
Caesar Asher and the Mighty Bojack. They'll be taking on Hot Stuff Anthony Rivera and Briar Wellington.
The Richie Boy,
Briar
straight
Wellington.
first ever JCW World's Champion.
That's right.
Richie
He's coming
Boy.
to International Big Time Wrestling.
Yeah,
coming back to International Big Time
And that's going down on January 17th. Of course, we have the very special VIP seats that are super limited. I'm telling you that right now. That will get you a front row seat for the match. That will get you a private meet and greet with Nyla Rose and Big Mama and an exclusive 8x10 that you can only get from the VIP area of Nyla Rose, and she will gladly sign it directly to you.
That's awesome.
That is VIP.
Oh, and don't forget the seminar.
Oh,
Nyla Rose will be having a seminar earlier in that day for training wrestlers who are currently training and current professional wrestlers only, not for the fans.
that's right. That's right. So you will be giving you all that information right here on Wrestling Real Talk, including how you can scan QR code and get yourself all taken care of for the big seminar. It doesn't happen very often that an AEW original is going to tell you the format of how to get down in the big leagues.
That's right. She's there and she can help you and tell you how to get to where you want to be. It's going to be great. It's going to be a great night all the way around.
And it's a rare Saturday night for International Big Time Wrestling. Saturday nights is not normally what we do. However, this was such a big event, it had to be on a Saturday night, Huck.
That's right. That's right. It can't contain a Sunday. It has to be on a Saturday. That's when everybody likes to get down on a Saturday night. I know I do.
You know it. That's the only way to get
Hey,
down.
and you know what? This is Saturday night right here.
Saturday-
I'm ready to get me a couple more drinks.
Listen to this fool, because I am. That's right. So check this out. Once again, we'd like to thank you guys for joining us on this very special cruise edition of Wrestling Real Talk. We are so blessed that you decided to join us, and we don't take it lightly at all. A.T. Huck, would you like to say some goodbyes and good shout-outs and all that?
I do. Look at this beautiful ocean behind us. I think right now we're going through the Bermuda Triangle. We might not make it back, but if we don't, tune in to Wrestling Real Talk.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on this very adventurous and very special Wrestling Real Talk. Of course, we will come back with your regularly scheduled programming next week right here on Wrestling Real Talk, but we had to do it something special for this very special episode. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We are here thanking you for always rolling with us, because you could be anywhere in the world, but you decided to roll with these two clowns right here. And we don't take it lightly.
We don't take it lightly.
Not at all. And like I always say, man, I'm a blessed man. I'm a blessed man that you guys are watching and that you guys continue to support Wrestling Real Talk. Man, we couldn't ask for nothing more other than cruising the barrio to return.
That's right. Hey, and for all our peeps at home in Detroit, try to stay warm, because we are, but we can't help it.
Hey, man, like my man always says, sorry about your damn luck. We are cruising right here. It's Wrestling Real Talk. Once again, thank you guys for joining us on this very special edition. We will see you next week right here on Wrestling Real Talk. But like I always say, and you know what I always say because I'm living it, damn it. I am living it. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good fucking time. Be good to one another. Take care of one another and enjoy the ride like we are.
Peace.